Hello everyone. It has been about 2 days since I got back from Hot Springs, Arkansas, or Manitowoc, and I thought that I would kind of recap what happened, how it came to me, and let y'all kind of know what I did in Hot Springs and the area surrounding it. Now, back about 2 months ago, I guess I would say, I overheard the word in my head. It sounded like Manitonka, so I knew immediately that that wasn't right, that it was something else, and I kind of played with the words. I did some research and came across Mintaka and Manitowoc. Now the two actually tied together and highlighted Orion, and I didn't know much about this. If you watched one of my earlier videos, I asked my husband, as we're traveling from Texas to Wisconsin, what constellation is that? And, you know, he kind of looked at me crazy, like, it's Orion's Belt, like, don't you know that? So, and I didn't at the time, but everything had kind of come together, and when I heard the word Mantonka, I knew it was significant. I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to mean in the end. The trip has been, it's taken me 2 days to process it. It totally took a spin of what I wasn't expecting, but needless to say, Orion, Mintaka, that is in Orion's Belt, and Manitowoc, which is also known as Hot Springs, Arkansas, they all connected, and I went there with the intention of doing energy work. I wasn't sure how to do it. I'm new to this, I've never done it before, but the calling was undeniable, and I knew I had to do something, and I had to go. And ironically, we're getting stationed somewhere new, and where we're getting stationed is not far from Arkansas. So we stopped along the way as we were house hunting and spent a good day there, and what started off as on the way down as light language, and I just only recently started speaking light language. I was drawing for about 2 months when the words started to come and I started to hear it, and then a week or two later had the need to speak it. So we were driving to where our new home is going to be located at, the area to house hunt, and I started hearing the light language, and it was coming really, really good, and I felt, and we were in Mississippi at the time, I felt something with the earth, and I wasn't sure what it was, but with the light language, it was coming down, and I could feel the area had been healed, but something with the healing brought up some sticky residue in the grid in the sky, and I could feel, because as I was speaking it, and I usually don't speak it out loud in front of my husband or my kids or anything, this is something that I kind of keep to myself. The words were coming and my hands were going in the light language, and that's new to me too, but as I was moving my hands, I could feel the stickiness in the sky, in the grid, and I wasn't even sure how I knew. I knew what I was feeling was in the grid. And I had made a post in the Keeper group, Keepers of the Codes, and on Facebook, and I was asking, does anybody know about anything with sticky stuff in the grid in the sky? And a few people did answer, and I was encouraged by a wonderful woman to work with elementals, that they were going to be helping me. And that's new to me too, but I kept an open mind, and I did exactly what she and I had talked about, and I began healing the grid. I was clearing it, and this lasted for probably a good hour or two, off and on. I would go through breaks, and I would think, okay, am I done? And the light language would start coming again, and up it went, and I could feel the pillar of light. And as I was clearing the grid, I was putting the pillars of light down all around for the area. And I thought, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do when I go to hot springs. Like, this has to be it. So we went, we did the house hunting. We finally got to hot springs, where it was absolutely gorgeous. The moment we rolled through, it felt like home. It felt beautiful there, the energy. And we set up and we were camping. We had a pop-up, and it was very nice. I walked, even though it was raining and cold, I walked the area. I touched the energy of the trees. It was quite different there than it is here in Wisconsin, and it was very different. I walked the river. It wasn't really a stream. I think it was a river, and it was nice. And I thought, okay, and the light language started coming, and the land has had a lot of healing on it. I felt that. I didn't necessarily feel the need to heal the land at the area that I was at, which was at Gulf Gorge, and the campsite. And I was just kind of going around, and I was looking for my purpose, looking for that calling of months of wanting me to go to this location. And there was little things. The light language came. I would implant a pillar of light and kind of go on. And I was like, okay. And we finally made it to downtown, and I was in tears. I told my husband I had no idea that it was so populated, and bathhouse after bathhouse after bathhouse, and the springs, and it was so not what I was expecting. And there's a 3.5, I believe, mile trek up the mountain behind the bathhouses, and we went up that, and we got probably about halfway up, and I told my husband, you need to stop. And the light language was coming again, but it was stronger. And he pulled over. There's little like outlets that you can pull into, and he pulled over, and I walked, and there's this big huge boulder, and I put my hand on it, and the tears were just coming, and I kept saying sorry in my head, but what was coming out of my mouth was absolutely just a pouring of healing, and very much a lot of emotion in this light language. And it was almost kind of like a protection, love, peace, just a very deep healing of this energy of this land. And even though I believe that it's probably been healed, people have been healing it for a very long time, and a lot of people, I felt like I needed to be part of that too, any way that I could. And so I implanted a huge pillar light. It could completely encompass this mountain behind the bathhouses. And I got in the car, and I'm wiping away the tears, and it's kind of quiet. My kids really, they know I'm healing. They know that I'm healing the land, but they're kind of quiet, and they're looking around. And we go higher and higher up, and we get to the very top, and there's like an outlook up there. And I'm like, you gotta pull over again, and I'm not done. So I get out, and I go from tree to tree, and I'm putting more light pillars and more healing and protection, and trying to protect the trees every way I can in the land. And I do my work, and I say my light language. And at the time, my husband's taking the kids off on a little hike around the area, and just very emotional, but so much love there too, of the people that have already put healing into it. And I could feel that. And the grid up at the top, I began clearing it and trying to get all that sticky residue. And somebody had told me it had to do with the healing, kind of what's left over from the healing, or anything from the healer can get caught in this grid. So I began healing it, and it took me a while, but I got in the car, and I told my husband, I think I'm done. And I felt at the time emotionally just drained and physically drained, and I was tired. And he was like, okay. And we were supposed to leave the next day, but I told him, I think we need to leave. And I wasn't sure at the time why I needed to really leave the area, but I was kind of an emotional mess. So he's like, okay. So we went back, and we got all of our camping stuff, and we packed everything, and we got back on the road. and the GPS had taken us kind of a different way than we had come in, but I was like, okay, and I look at the clock and it's 1:44. And if you know me or follow my page, you know 1:44 is the biggest synchronicity I have right now. It is everything. It's like my sign of, okay, something, you know, pay attention, something is about to happen, or you need to think of what you're thinking of at the moment. So I see 1:44 and I'm like, oh, it's a sign that I came and I did what I was supposed to do, and it's, you know, it's like a blessing, like a thank you kind of thing, or something. I wasn't really sure, so, but I smile because, you know, there's my number, and we start going down this, and it's kind of winding us up this mountain, and we get to this, and I get really car sick. Just for those who don't know, I get like super car sick in any windy or up and down or anything. So we're really kind of going back there, and on the signs for like the next town is so many miles kind of thing, it's 1 mile to the next town and 44 miles to the one after that or something. It was 1:44 again, and I thought, okay, I'm not done. And the moment I thought that, we're winding higher up this mountain, and I get this kind of churning in my stomach, and the light language just is, it's like here, it's so thick, and I can just feel it rising, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is why I'm here. I finally found out why I'm here, and I knew it without a shadow of doubt in my mind, that what was coming next was the reason that I had been called to Manitowoc. So I start going, and like I said, I don't speak light language in front of my husband or my kids, but it was something that I couldn't really control. It just came, and they were very quiet and very just kind of listening, and it started off with a whisper, and I could just feel the energy, and I'm putting pillars of light here and here and here, and it's just coming, and I'm starting to speak normal now, and it's like the signs are coming. It's just overwhelming. I went, I want to say we drove half a mile out a different way. So you come in through Little Rock into Hot Springs. That's what we did. We went a totally different way of just pure mountains and pure trees. And I will say there were spots where the trees had been cleared, and I could feel that. This had to do with healing the land of this part too, and clearing the grid and installing pillars of light. It was like a whole thing, and as I'm doing it, I could feel Michael come in, and I can't usually detect this, I guess because I'm so new, but I knew Archangel Michael had come in, and Gabriel and Metatron, and I got the name Chiron. I could see it spelled, but I couldn't really hear it at the time. But it was more feeling the presence, and 4 elementals all had come in as I'm doing this. And that was completely new to me, and that was another confirmation of this is what you're supposed to be doing. So it's coming in, and I'm healing the land, and I'm so just going, and it's coming really fast, and I get like a moment of calming. We go down a hill, up another hill, around, and then it's coming again. And if you ever go to Hot Springs, Arkansas, I encourage you to, if you're by Gulf of Gorge, keep going up that hill, and it's going to take you right to the route that I did all the healing at. If you're a healer, then I encourage you to try to heal, install the pillars of light, do everything that you can, or what you're called to do. Do what you're called to do, because this is what I was called to do too. And I was not expecting it. It was quite the, I want to say, adventure. It just, wow. It's kind of, you don't have words for it. I wasn't sure what I was meant to do there, but that turns out that that's exactly what I was meant to do. So I thought that I would kind of share my story with you. I know it's getting kind of long. We're pushing like 15 minutes, but yeah, if you have any comments, I would love to hear them, any insight. If you're from Hot Springs, if you've been to Hot Springs, if you want to go to Hot Springs, then I also would love to hear that. So if you could please like, share, subscribe, and have a great day.